Thank you for joining another game of Imminent Peril, the creatively chaotic storytelling survival game. I am Aaron Lanowitz, creator of Imminent Peril. I am joined by some of my awesome friends and players. Please introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Ian. I'm a voice artist. I also work with Sound Theatre, which is how I heard of this fantastic game. This is about to be my third game, and you can check out my work on ianmwalker.com.
My name is Donald. This will be my fourth game, first game on the online interface. I am a co-owner of a small press in Virginia, River City Siren Press. It's just rivercitysirenpress.com.
Hi, I'm Kels. I've lost track of how many games I've played now, and I am promoting nothing.
Promoting joy.
Promoting Imminent Peril.
There you go.
Back this game!
Yep.
I'm Zach. I am wearer of shirt today, and that's all I have to say.
Depending on when we release this video, Imminent Peril is live, and you should go and back the project and bring this game to real life so we can actually hold cards in our hands and not drag things around the computer screen. Alright, so to start, we will roll our scenario for the evening. We are in a storming pet store full of poorly disguised devouring god. So, a storming pet store full of a poorly disguised devouring god.
I feel I have to say it's raining cats and dogs in here.
Seems to be a common theme tonight.
Is it like... No, I don't want to go dark too soon. Let's hear some more ideas from other players. What else can we add to help glue these elements together?
Trying to think of an animal that eats so much that it could be referred to as a devouring god that would be in the pet store. And I am thinking of like snakes.
Yeah?
But they're poorly disguised as like some animal that's similar to a snake. I can't.
Like they've kind of tried to tie themselves into knots, like to make
Like a
some
balloon
fake
animal?
arms. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's actually good.
I'm getting a bit stuck on the idea that we're only in a pet store. I've never known a pet store to be really a gigantic space to think about storms in.
Maybe
I
they're
picture it like the roof just isn't there. So we all know that we're in this pet store, but when we look up, it's just like you see obscenely high into storm clouds and raining. I'm gonna go with like falling cats and dogs, which are like somehow magically, mysteriously unharmed when they hit the ground. They just go.
Is it raining whatever animals are being poorly disguised?
yeah.
So cats, dogs, and like more
Just whatever.
devouring snakes,
Yeah.
The god is a hive mind and it's devouring itself.
as snakes do.
It's an Ouroboros.
All right. Any other world details before we add ourselves into the story?
I originally thought we were maybe stuck in the pet store because of the storm, but your idea is a bit more interesting than the most realistic outcome I could come up with.
I still like the idea of being trapped in the store. Like,
Sure, I like
Oh yeah,
that.
that's fine.
Yeah.
maybe we try to find the entrance and the store just keeps going on and on. Like an endless pet store.
I don't know if anybody's played it, but it's like Blueprints, where every door you open is a new door, a new room that is like generated every time you go through
Yeah.
the door.
A procedurally generated pet store.
There could be
Yeah,
lightning
exactly.
too, hitting the doors and stuff.
All right. So next we will insert ourselves as characters into the story.
This is probably the trickiest one I've played so far.
My
I will be. Oh, go ahead.
my go-to is always I'm in the bathroom.
Do you
I'm
suffer
not
from
gonna-
incontinence?
Oh, no, well,
TBD. To be determined.
depends on the story this time around, I think.
Depends. on the story.
Oh.
Consistent too.
All right. I'm gonna be a dog groomer. With like a trimmer plugged into the wall. Just assuming all these dogs that keep falling out of the air are just falling out of the dog chute and need to be trimmed. Like they're just in the dog hopper.
I'm a crazy cat lady who's in the store to buy a whole bunch of cat food.
For the first time, there might just be enough cat food in this particular store. You might not have to go to multiple stores.
I don't remember. Do we have to be people?
You can't become something that has like a crazy advantage or superpowers over something else, but otherwise, you can be flexible with it. Like you couldn't be a dragon because it's like,
yeah.
we're
Because
all humans, but
everyone
that
wants
guy
to be a-
has.
Everyone
Yeah.
wants to be a dragon.
But you also probably need to be able to be put in danger. I was thinking of being like a gerbil, but like I don't know if I could get out of danger as a gerbil.
I
Oh,
feel
dude,
like
you're
there's-
screwed.
I feel like there's plenty of peril you could wind up in. Gerbil's fun.
I'm a technician that has come to install the dog chute that you needed.
A tall order for a gerbil, but we'll see how it plays out. Alright, technician for Doggy Door. Ian, need some help? Want
I
us to
do.
just start throwing ideas at you? You can be a
Yes,
gerbil.
please. Remember that trepidation I was talking about, how it runs away on the first game? It's back.
Could be the manager.
Yeah, you could be the store manager.
This is what I get
Trying
when
to
I'm
make-
not looking.
Trying to make sense of all this.
You can be the vet tech that's outside the store, trying to get somebody to adopt the pets.
Could be the overly aggressive sales agent that tries to sell everyone dog food even if they don't have a dog.
I like the idea of a vet tech, but I think we have to be inside the store, don't we?
It would
Yeah,
help
fair.
to keep us all inside this weirdly
Good point. Good point.
extending place. You could be somehow responsible for the summoning of this devouring god too.
All right, yeah, I'll be a vet tech. Thanks, Zach.
You got it.
All right, just to give a little bit more direction for the next folks to work with, what were we all trying to accomplish at the time?
I'm secretly a vegan, so I'm saying down with pet stores, since I am in real life.
All right.
I'm washing my hands after a successful bathroom visit.
This has been a public service announcement.
I need to obtain a lot of cat food.
It's fair. And I'm actively attempting to trim the most ferocious furry dog that I have ever seen before in my life.
It's a Pomeranian, isn't it?
I have yet to find the dog beneath all this hair. I just keep trimming.
Pomeranian is possible then.
Yep.
I am organizing all of my tools like a doctor would on a surgical table.
Awesome. All right. So I will shift targets and deal abilities. With 5 of us, do you guys want to try for 3 or 4 rounds tonight?
And I'd say 3.
Okay. 3 rounds means 4 cards. Once you know what their peril will become, flip your target cards. All right. I'll start us off. Zach, you're diligently washing your hands at the sink, but you notice the water flow is not that great. And your faucet starts like kind of coughing and sputtering, and you realize that this doesn't look like a faucet. This looks a lot more like a snake. And the snake pretending to be a faucet looks up at you after its disguise has been revealed, and it leaps at your face, trying to swallow you whole head first.
Okay. I'm dipping, I'm diving, I'm dodging.
Aaron, hate to break it to you, but as you're slowly working your way through all this fur to get to the actual dog, you suddenly realize that you can't pull your hands away from this big mound of fur, and it's starting to devour. It's not a
So
dog
the
at all.
fur is starting to like wrap around me and pull me in.
Yep, it's not a
All
dog
right.
at all. Because it's a god, it could be in 2 places at once.
Yeah.
There are multiple gods, I think, right?
Depends.
Oh, it is singular.
It's singular, yeah.
But I feel like,
It has powers.
you know what? I feel like that's a typo too. We're gonna call that devouring gods. Oh, that was devouring goo. Well, too late now. It's devouring gods.
Wow. Well, mine worked.
There's another example of why you'll never do the same thing twice, because you also sometimes misread them.
Generate completely original scenarios.
All right. So Ian, if I'm not mistaken, you mentioned you were hanging signs about how anti you are.
No, I was
Right.
trying to hide them because I saw a staff member, so I was trying to hide.
Okay. So I'm imagining that you have them hanging around your neck. There's little placards, and they're hanging. Each one of them has their own rope, that you would hang up on the wall if you were going to hang them, and they're hanging around your neck. Well, as you said, I'm sorry, buddy, but the ropes are actually the snakes, and they start to wrap around your neck, and they're cold, so they're trying to warm up by constricting, and that's where we leave you.
Curse you, devouring god goo.
All right, Donald. You're here
Get
to
him,
do your
Kels.
job.
Get him.
You're here to do your job. You're very diligent. You've set up all your tools in a nice little row, and then you realize that last one on the end. Oh my God, that's not a tool. That's not a tool. Snake! It's a snake. It's kind of bent itself in one of your tools, but as you notice it, it just mouth open, jumps at your face, launches itself.
This has been a great scenario so far.
Very snake-heavy pet store. All right. Kels, so I wanted to ask how many cats, but I found it wasn't really relevant to what's happening.
I'm not going to tell you anyway.
It turns out this devouring snake god's favorite food is cat food, and you happen to be right in between several of these snakes and the cat food.
That's like me and Captain Crunch.
Like they're writhing,
Zach,
they're snapping. You're gonna get bit by one of them at least.
Well, hold on, Zach. How is it fully disguised?
How is it poorly disguised? The snakes? Well, they're in a trench coat.
Oh, of course. Of course. Silly me.
I mean,
Almost got him.
you know.
Some have to lean on props more than interesting shapes. All right, so use one of your ability cards to explain how you are trying to survive. Just drag it in front of you, and it'll automatically be face down. At any point, you may discard a card to draw a wild card, but you must play that card. So, as I'm about to be devoured by this bottomless dog of hair, which turns out to be a god, luckily, I see as I continue to trim deeper an emergency escape hatch. Luckily, this dog came with a way out, so I planned for this and installed a nearby emergency escape hatch, or just happened upon one. I twist the wheel, pop out the other side of the dog.
Is it in the dog?
Yeah, like as I pop out, I look back, I can't even see the hatch. Like it's just fur, just more fur.
You don't have any allergies. All right.
It's a good thing I wasn't trimming cats then.
So these placards are starting to choke me, but luckily I can mentally manipulate, move, or reshape a specific kind of thing. So now Donald has to tell me whether they are still rope at all, or they have actually transformed into snakes.
Yeah, so they had been snakes, and they were starting to wrap around your neck because they were cold, so they were trying to constrict. Or
Like choking him out,
yes,
choking him to death.
They just want to get
apparently
warm.
that's what they do when they get cold. They like try to squeeze things.
So the only clarification I need then is, would it be too powerful for my thing to be snakes, or should I make it the cardboard part of the placards?
I mean, I feel like snakeokinesis is probably a pretty helpful thing to have right now, so...
All right, then snakeokinesis it is. So I mentally move them away from me and reshape them into a friendly-looking butterfly.
Now, is that
The
like...
disguiser? Was it you all along?
Now, is that like kindly reshaping them, or are you like flattening them out grotesquely
Oh, I see.
into a butterfly?
Well, they were
Cartoon
trying to kill
style.
me, so yeah, I'm pretty much flattening them out.
All right, no more snakes.
So I've got all my tools out, and I am imagining that the handsaw is the one that is now turning and becoming a snake. Well, I have the ability Quick Draw, and I can make a copy of the handsaw. So I make a copy of the handsaw and start chopping his head off, sawing his head off.
It's me between a bunch of soul-devouring snakes and their favorite food, but they have technopathy. I can communicate with and command technology to aid me. So one of those big forklifts they use for moving the pallets of pet food, one of those comes roaring in to run over the snakes.
Nice.
Flat snake.
There's a lot of flat snakes turning up.
Danger ribbons.
Any minute now, they're going to remember that they're actually gods.
Maybe they just reinflate like balloons.
Right now, they just think they're goo.
Turn them into goo.
Right. So I am being accosted by the faucet, which turned out to be a snake. I use my powers as a druid, connected with the natural world around you, allowing you to merge with it or reach out for aid. So to avoid, I want to say copyright, I'm going to use my superpower as a druid of Slither Lips. I'm going to tell the snake through Slither Lips, hey friend, what you doing? Let's be besties. He's not going to want to hurt me anymore.
All right. So, quick recap to try to sell your version of events and put yourself above somebody else at the table. I discovered that this dog came equipped with an escape hatch, so as I'm trimming through it and it starts to eat me, I just pop out the other side.
I use my Snicket to push them away from me and flatten them.
I am sawing off its head with a duplicate of my handsaw that it had disguised itself as.
I have summoned a forklift to flatten all these snakes before they can eat my soul.
I am using my Slither Lips to trick the sink snake into being my friend.
All right. You know who you'd vote for. Pull up a token. You cannot vote for yourself. All right. 3, 2, 1. Drop them. Oh boy. All right, Zach.
Zach does
what
not have the gift of the gab.
what went mildly wrong with your plan?
I did not make a convincing argument. Sam the sink snake, he chomped me. He chomped my Slither Lips, and now I am mute.
You should have said, let's do
Oh.
brunch.
You just didn't like the initialism.
I think straight to BFFs maybe a little too strong.
Yeah, I have that effect.
All right, new targets. Does everybody remember what their new targets were doing last? Nope. And every round, me first shifts to the next person.
So Zach, wait, do I turn it over? I turn it over, right? Yeah. So Zach, as you are now mute, you are unable to call for help from the other people in the pet shop, and this poorly disguised snake god Tap now turns into a boa constrictor and wraps itself around you.
All right, Mr. Trapdoor. Aaron. You go through the trapdoor, and, well, you didn't realize it was a portal to another place in the pet store. And you're portaled up to maybe about 50 feet up in the air. You drop out of the portal, and you are on a slide. And the slide is feeding directly into a big old snake mouth. He's got his mouth at the bottom of the slide, just waiting for you to slide into his mouth.
So there's
His
kind of like
body is already enlarged, ready for you to just slide all the way into the body.
so there's kind of like a shoots and ladders aspect to this world.
That's the laziest way to eat I've ever heard of.
Yeah, they're lazy.
Perfect.
What are you, one of my Doritos?
Kells.
So, Ian, you flattened all these snakes. You're feeling pretty good about it. And then, well, they can't eat you now because they're flat, and I don't think they have access to their digestive tracts. But they're gods, so they're still not dead. So they start kind of weaving themselves into a big net to catch you and start constricting you.
Doubling down on the snake constriction.
Donald, congratulations. You're the first to decapitate one of these snakes. Unluckily, it turns out it's actually a hydra, and 3 more heads pop out of the of the wound.
Very
All right. Kells, a forklift hurtled precariously close to you on its way to crushing the snakes that were cleverly disguised in trench coats, or a trench coat. But as they begin to be crushed underneath the forklift, one of them panics and starts whipping its head back and forth, and it lashes out to try to grab a hold of you to save itself. And unfortunately, with like a godlike grip, it's definitely not saved, but in fact, like the tires are running over it and pulling you into the industrial tires of the forklift. All right, does everyone feel adequately imperiled? Pick an ability to help you survive.
I would like a wild card, please. What do I do? I just click and drag it into my hand and...
Well, I discard one card first, and then yeah, you can either drag it straight onto the pile, or if you want to take a peek at it first, into your hand. Ian, kick us off.
This is so easy. Getting a bit tired of all these snake god goo things everywhere. I use my power of animal blasting, and I blast from my pelvis like a cannon a whole bunch of honey badgers. Honey badgers don't care.
Mm.
They don't give a shit. They start eating the snakes.
I think that's actually one of their natural favorite foods too,
Mm-hmm.
aside from honey.
All right, so the newly formed triple hydra head on the snake body is lunging at me, and if anyone could watch, it looks like as they lunge at me, I'm just punching it. But then as I pull my hand back out, you notice that I had retractable claws that had punched each individual head with each one of the 3 claws so perfectly that it sliced into their in and down their throats, and all 3 of them. So when I pull my hand back out, I am retracting the blade basically that had went down the throat of each one of the 3 hydra heads.
Never before seen this card, and I am in love with it.
I like the wording, completely unrelated retractable claws.
I like the mortal enemy.
All right, this snake is about to suck me under the wheels of the forklift, but that's okay because I can disintegrate. And so the scary forklift just kind of falls apart.
Freeing the snakes.
What does it
That's a
fall
problem
apart?
for next round.
What does it fall apart into, Kels?
Oh, it just the component parts, like a wheel, the wheel here, gear there, lots of little nuts and bolts.
Yep, nice.
Right. So I am being constricted, but by what I thought was my best friend, Sam the Sink Snake. I was wrong. I'm mute. He told me to shut up and made it happen. But luckily for me, I have the power of animal mimicry. I can mimic the attributes and abilities of animals. So I'm going to use... I was torn between an elephant and a rhinoceros, and I think I'm going to go with rhinoceros. They're tough skin, they're high endurance. I'm going to become squish-proof because this isn't a very big sink snake.
That's interesting. You became mute, and so you became a mimic.
Yeah, well, I didn't have to talk except to describe it.
I'd like to think that you just accidentally recognized or misrecognized this snake. So you still have a snake BFF out there. It's just not this snake.
This whole time I thought it was Sam. It's been Stan.
Easy mistake to make.
He looked like a Stan.
All the snakes.
I'm not
need to
wearing
have
my
S
glasses.
names.
Sorry, he looked like a Stan.
All right. So I'm falling down a slide towards a huge snake who's already opened up wide, so I can just slide right down its throat.
This one is
luckily-
Steve.
Steve is threatening me with a good time. I, however, have age manipulation. I can manipulate the physical age of something, adding or reversing the effects of time. So as I am sliding down into its throat, I'm going to turn it so old that I pop out the back like a dusty sock. Like,
Slide all the way through.
yeah,
sock
I just
snake?
go through and it's like
Sock
crinkling and like turning into husks of snake skin, and then I just pop out the back and then like
What is it with you and going through animals today?
it's just through is always that's how you get through problems.
The only way out is
Through 'em.
through.
Yeah, that's the phrase I was trying to remember.
Ian, is that Sarah the sock snake?
Certainly is.
Oh god, having flashbacks. All right, so quick recap to sell your way of survival.
Honey badgers don't give a shit.
Mm-hmm.
You have all seen that video, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yep, definitely.
Okay, good.
I have stabbed all 3 of the Hydra heads with my completely unrelated retractable claws.
I disintegrated that imposing forklift into its component parts, so I got a lot of nuts and bolts.
Can't squish a rhino, not with a snake. Not today.
And I turned my snake into decrepit dust and skin as I popped out the other end, going whee! Alright, when you know who you'd vote for, pick up a token.
This is tough. This is a good round.
Yep. So fun.
3, 2, 1, drop. Oh, close. So Ian by 1. What went a little wrong?
Well, as I said, honey badgers don't give a shit, so they're not necessarily only going for the snake, but they think, he looks quite tasty too. And some of them are turning on me.
Alright, flip your cards when you're ready. New round, so Donald, you kick us off.
All right, so due to the storm that we have not been paying attention to as folks in this store, because who would think a storm is happening in a store? Zach loses his footing, and he falls onto his belly and falls face first. Have we all seen Ace Ventura, or anyone? So there is a honey badger that is inside Zach's body that was summoned by Ian. And the honey badger is trying to claw its way out of Zach's skin through, let's say, his back. There's a different part of the body that it might be happening, but we'll say his back. It's trying to claw through his back. And it is strong enough to pierce the rhino skin.
That is not the kink I was expecting to reveal today.
But it is a kink he is revealing today.
That's not the one he expected to reveal.
Well, it explains why I know his name is Harry, the honey badger.
And Donald, aren't you glad you went to gerbil now?
Yes.
Things could have been much worse.
All right, Aaron, you've just finished sliding through the desiccated husk of Sarah the sock snake, and you're feeling pretty darn good about yourself. But unfortunately, you look up, and here come 3 more snakes. Scott, Susie, and Sam. You killed their sister, and they are pissed, and they are heading for you.
I like Susie. I like that one.
Yeah. Double S's. Yep.
Yeah.
Alright.
All right, Ian. You are surrounded by snakes, apathetic honey badgers. It's raining cats and dogs. You are being smothered by all the critters that are surrounding you. Yeah, there's a particular... It's kind of like a... Are you familiar with a microburst? You basically got a very highly concentrated rain of... Well, mostly dogs, just for the dogpile comment. You're being dogpiled to death by
Not
Daryl
the
and
kink
his
I was thinking about
dudes.
revealing.
Alright. Donald. You have viciously slain those 3 snake hydra god devouring little beasties. And as you retract your claws and maybe give an animalistic arr, you hear a thump from behind you as something falls from the sky, and something shakes itself a bit, and when you turn to see what just landed behind you, the biggest cat you've ever seen is there, and it looks angry, and its teeth are really big. It's a saber-toothed cat, and for some reason, he does not like the looks of you. Just something about those claws.
Okay, gals, it's almost too easy. Somebody revealed that when you transformed the forklift into its constituent parts, you did, of course, free the snakes, and they are now pissed and looking right at you with their mouths open.
Beady little eyes coming to get me. Got it.
Alright, pick a card to try to survive.
Another wild card, because this hand is rough.
Alright, Donald.
All right.
How do you survive?
So I've got a saber tooth that just landed from falling from the sky as I roared from my claws going back into my hand. I just let out a scream. I turn, and the saber tooth is about to lunge at me, and I give it another rah right in its face. As it lunges at me, I am able to knock out anything, even intangible things, and I just headbutt the crap out of the saber tooth. And when I headbutt it, it falls to the ground limp. I don't know if it's dead or not, but it has successfully been knocked out by my what's the other card called? My super tough alien metal coating from the previous. That's why my head is so hard, and I knock it out with that.
Yep, makes sense.
These snakes are heading at me, but it's okay because I am a tattoo summoner. I can bring tattoos to life. And mostly I just have this huge list on my back of all the cats I've lost and a bunch of other cat lady tattoos, but I also inexplicably have a tattoo that could be described as 3 mongoose moon, and the mongooses jump to life and start eating the snakes.
Ricky Tikki Tavi.
You bitch.
I almost went for mongoose, but then I remember that video and I had to do honey
I
badger.
almost said something about that, but
Yeah.
I just love the 3-wolf moon reference. I don't know what the moon's doing in this scenario. Probably just hanging out looking cool. All right, so I have the power immovable. So, yeah, little Harry can't nibble through. I know his little games. I am immovable. He can't get through the skin. He can't get through anything. He's just nomming away in there, and he can't do anything. It kind of tickles.
All right. As the 3 sisters of... the 3 siblings of the desiccated snake come at me to exact their revenge, I call upon my doctorate in Frankensteining things. I can cobble together a monstrous living creature from the raw components at hand. Well, you know what I have? A gigantic dead snake corpse and a whole lot of lightning. So, with the power of science, I will return this snake to life. To, I don't want to cause any, family drama, so I'll just have it come back to life and say, "Oh, it's cool, siblings. I'm fine. We're all good. Here we can go back to devouring things that aren't this guy."
It's alive! Alright. Well, so I'm being dogpiled, and not in the way I fantasized about it. I have to, of course, call on my power of pheromones. I now release pheromones from my pores that cause all animals to love, worship, and want to protect me. So now all the animals in the store, even the poorly disguised goop gods, are now wanting to protect me from the storm and all the other silly players, staff members and animals, and even the dead stock snakes.
All right. 1 sentence recap.
The super tough alien metal coating on my bones from the previous round was able to provide me enough protection to headbutt this saber tooth and knock it to the ground.
Not that you say you can even knock concepts out.
It's completely unrelated to my claws, by the way.
of course.
Naturally.
Right. I summon my 3 mongoose moon tattoo to eat the snakes.
No honey badger nom can penetrate the walls of my robust digestive tract.
And I am Frankensteining the snake that tried to devour me back to life with the gratuitous amount of lightning already smeared across the landscape.
And I'm smelly. And they love it. They love it.
All right. When you know who you'd vote for, pick up a token. 3, 2, 1, drop. Oh boy. All right. Oh, this is gonna be a weird one.
Actually, yeah, sorry.
Oof. This means I win, right?
Okay, so we don't do any individual wrap-ups because this is the last round of the game. So instead, we do our final tallies. Kells is the winner, and she will get to say how the overall story ends. However, first, each of the other players, from most votes to least, has to describe how they inevitably met an untimely end. So Zach, What went wrong?
Well, everything I said was true. He couldn't get through my skin, but I also couldn't pass him, and I died of constipation. It's always bathroom problems with me.
Just when you thought you were escaping the bathroom, right back in.
Little did you know the honey badger was always the reason you had bathroom problems.
Oh, plot twist.
Oof.
That's hilarious.
It all comes full circle.
All right, I'll go next. So I Frankensteined Susie the sock snake, I think, back to life.
Sarah.
Sarah the sock snake. And as elder devouring gods of the Yaya snakehood, the three living siblings immediately recognize that this is not their Sally. Dang it, Sarah. This is not their Sarah. This is clearly an abomination, and I need to be put down before I practice any more science. So they immediately all wrap around me and just beat the science out of me until I am no longer here.
All right, so the pheromones got the animals, protected me, but once they ran out of enemies to protect me from, they inevitably start turning on themselves, and unfortunately I get caught up in the melee, and yeah, it's a big animal suit, and I die saying, but I'm a vegan.
I think animal soup is the perfect ending for the elder, for the devouring gods.
Turns into goo, ships at animal goo.
Full circle.
So I successfully knocked out the Sabretooth, but he was just the scout from the sky. The more and more Sabretooths start to land around me, and they can see what happened and what I did. And each one is increasingly larger in size than the previous that has landed. The smallest that lands devours me, and then the second one devours that, and the third one devours that, and the fourth one, and they just keep going until there's no more Sabretooths raining from the sky.
But
Just one super large one.
There's one very large Sabretooth that was able to, in one bite, devour the previously largest Sabretooth.
That's fantastic.
Bring us home, Kels.
All right, so my mongoose friends take out the snakes threatening me. Then they run around. Apparently, they're really hungry. They eat the rest of the snakes. I look around. I realize it's just me and that really huge saber-toothed kitty. Hi, kitty. Kitty, you want to come home with me?
Perfect.
And I charm the giant saber-tooth. And we go home with my cat food to live happily ever after.
yeah, one more to the pack.
Yeah, when you thought feeding the current litter was too much.
This is just the weird story that the crazy cat lady tells everyone when they ask, "Where did you get that one?"
Yep.
Yes.
This has all been a flashback of hers.
Yeah. The origin story of the giant saber-tooth.
Yeah. He was just trimming the dog and he fell in and popped out into the sky. That didn't bother Fluffles. All right. Thank you all for joining me for another amazing game of Imminent Peril. Just remember, even when your beloved pets turn against you with pure hunger in their eyes, they're still your friends and they still love you. And you can always use the ability kindness.
Unless it's with Harry. That guy will kill you. Honey badgers don't care.
Harry, you jackass.